The federal government of Nigeria has been charged to focus on the infrastructural development of the Niger Delta region. This call was recently given by Ambassador Godnos Bolade Igali, PhD OON, during an interactive session with journalists in his office at Wuse 2, Abuja. Ambassador Igali stated that the Niger Delta region generated the revenue that runs the affairs of the country, adding that credence should be given to the region in terms of growth and development. Speaking further, Ambassador Igali decried the dilapidated condition of the Niger Delta roads, saying that Bayelsa and other states in the region were totally cut off from the nation, as nearly all the roads are no longer motorable. He called on the President Tinubu-led administration to ensure the implementation of the Petroleum Industrial Act in the region, noting that the people had the right to own oil wells and be employed in companies in their communities once they meet the needed requirement.
The oil industry is there now. There's a lot of focus on gas, and I think there should be more visibility of the area, people from area being part of the industry. Why, when I hear sometimes they say vandalization and so on, because people don't see this industry as themselves as part of the industry, the host communities. But the PIA has tried to correct a number of things, and I hope the PIA will be implemented in full so that the communities can have a sense of ownership, a sense of participation, sense of being part of this wealth. They are not saying we want to take the wealth alone. No, we don't want to take it alone, but we want to be seen to participate. If there are blocks, oil blocks being given out, there should be some concessionary arrangements. If these people meet the required technical skills, give to them. So that's the way to carry people along. But then we have the general issue of infrastructure, which is a national problem, but it's very endemic in the Niger Delta. Infrastructure, they are not there at all. In the management of the industry, people, the who are cry continues. You go to the main institutions, like the NNPC, which is the mother body of everybody. You see that the people from the area are not as visible as it should be. And today, there are qualified people from everywhere. I think that Nigeria has to think twice on this issue of host communities. I'm not saying that give everything to host communities. I'm a very enlightened man. We've been all over the world. There were days when we don't have enough young engineers, young qualified professionals from some parts of the country. Today, there are young graduates educated from everywhere. If you are recruiting, let there be a quota for the people that are from the area so that they too can grow. But if you stay in Abuja and recruit, you stay in Lagos and recruit, and the people, I'm not talking of only NNPC, I'm talking even the IOCs and the national oil companies. Where you are doing your business, you should have more interest in how the people grow in that place. The governors are trying because for a region that is many of the states, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, part of Edo, part of Akwa Ibom is inside water. It's quite difficult to develop those areas. So I think they're trying their best. It could be better if you take individual states, but generally it is okay. Our big problem is East-West Road. I don't understand where the oil comes from, where the wealth comes from. The road connecting that place is so bad. And this has been going on for so many years. So right now, Bayelsa State is cut off. From Port Harcourt to Bayelsa State is 1 hour. From Bayelsa State to Delta is 1 hour. To Warri, in particular, is 1.5 hours. But now, from Port Harcourt to Yenagoa is 6 hours. From Port Harcourt to Warri is about 3.5 hours. So the road is too bad. And that's where the wealth comes from. It's difficult to comprehend, difficult to explain. Keep hearing promises that the road will be done, the road will be done. I think it's a matter of competence of contractors. If the road is given to the right contractors, they will do it. I went to visit the Dangote refinery about 2 weeks ago, and I saw the road. The Dangote's refinery is built on a swamp, and for about almost 100 kilometers, not about 100, about 50, 70 kilometers, Dangote has built concrete road that is made with cement. That's the kind of road that the Niger Delta makes in that east-west road, where the main arterial road connecting the east-west, all the states, from Akwa Ibom to Cross River State, you can't go. From River State to Akwa Ibom State, it's all impassable. From River State to Bayelsa, it's 6 hours instead of 1 hour. From Bayelsa to Delta State, it's bad. From Delta State to Benin, it's bad. From Benin to Auchi, it's very bad. So it's difficult. It's difficult. It goes against natural logic.
Meanwhile, in order to ensure that Nigeria does not solely depend on her crude products for her economic survival, Ambassador Igali appealed to the federal government to allow private sectors run the nation's industries, while the government should focus on policies and programs that would move the nation forward. He therefore cited the Dangote group of companies as a unique example of what private business tycoons can build.
To private people, they'll turn them around. We saw that happen in Igali. Igali is now doing over 1,000 something megawatts. When it was in government house, it was a death trap. It was doing about 500 or so, and but it was like a plant waiting to explode. Now the private sector has turned it around. The same thing with Kainji, Jema, and Shiroro. Private companies that took in and brought in so much money into making them to produce more hydropower. We saw that in the Igali power plant, where Transcorp took over, and they've increased the number of megawatts by double. So, like I said earlier, I don't want to talk about power because it's complex, but the aspect is the problem is transmission, to take what you have produced out and to distribute it effectively. So, I think the private sector is the best way for us to go, and private businessmen will know how to turn these industries around. Government is not good in business. Business should be left to business people. Government should focus itself on policy and regulation. So there should be some level of divestment, and those industries that government can no longer run should be divested to private sector. The banking sector, if you remember, at the time was totally in government house. Banking sector went to private sector, is doing well. We're still grappling with the power sector, but if you look at some of the privatized companies, Igali, Saple, the hydro stations, you see that they've added a lot of capacity to more than what government was doing. The private investors have brought in a lot. So the number of megawatts has gone up. It's only the issue of transmission and distribution that's giving us problem in the country. So private people they are creative, they're imaginative. They're doing their business for money and for service. So I think that government should not really be involved in business.
Similarly, he charged the federal government to put a small token on taxation for micro, small, and medium-scale businesses to encourage Nigerians and investors from within and outside the country to establish businesses that would bring the needed impact to the nation's economy.
Tax can also be used to incentivize industry, so it depends on which aspect. I think the tax authorities, fortunately, we have a very brilliant young man, Dr. Zach Adidechi, who is in charge of our tax regime. I think they will think through to know which industries need to be supported. Look at collecting money from alien industries that we're trying to revive will not help the country, because there's an aggregate relationship. It's coterminous. If you take a major industry like the steel sector and you reduce taxes, you incentivize them with tax credits, and they're able to become fully operational, they will employ more people, they will have more activity, and now they can pay more tax to government. And so the tax, like agriculture, if a lot of Nigerians get involved in agriculture, farming implements can come in and everything is free, or maybe very much subsidized, then there will be more productivity, and it will go into the aggregate GDP of the country, and people will spend more. The government can tax more.
He urged Nigerians to be patient with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and pray for the progress of his administration, even as he charged the federal government to continue the good work and admonished all public office holders to lead by example.
Nations go through times, difficult times. Every country goes through difficult times. As difficult times come and pass, they will not last forever. So what I can say to Nigerians, even our religious injunctions tell us to pray for those who are in authority. No, but it's for him to continue to listen to God and do his job. He's trying. It's not easy. Nigeria is a very complex country, diverse, complex, with a lot of wahala that he has inherited. But let him and those in authority with him do their best, because they are placed there by God for a purpose.
Nigeria, we healthy, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace our battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request.